Hi students, the last recipe for this term is sweet chili chicken burgers. I've already done a lot of my mise en place, simply because you don't need to watch me chop an onion, you can do that already, and you don't need to see me crack an egg and everything into the bowl. So I'm doing a few things a bit different from the recipe, and so I'll just share those with you. Into the bowl, because 500 grams was the smallest amount of chicken mince I could get, the actual recipe only asks for half a cup. Now half a cup is only 125 grams. So I've put all my chicken mince into there and I've adjusted the recipe accordingly. So there's a lot more onion, there's a lot more breadcrumbs. So into the bowl goes your onion, mince, egg, breadcrumbs, garlic and ginger. And I'm actually using, instead of doing my own garlic and ginger this time, I'm using the minced garlic because I had quite a bit of that in the fridge. I use that quite often when I'm cooking here at home. It's probably the biggest thing that goes in a lot of my recipes. So when I buy a jar, I make sure I get a big jar. So I've got all those ingredients into the bowl and it says mix thoroughly. I've just noticed with that recipe there's no salt and pepper, so please add salt and pepper because you need that to enhance the flavours and bring out the taste. So the other things I've got ready before I started filming, I got my frying pan ready, it's on the stove ready to go, and I will be using a spatula, or a fish slice rather, to cook my chicken patties. And the whole point of this recipe, because it's part of the food product development, is it needs to get you thinking about McDonald's and what they sell. The difference is obviously being that you can use fresher ingredients while you're at home. It's healthier for you, not so many calories. As you know, when you buy a McDonald's burger, they're really quite small. And do you ever think that they taste sweet? It's because they use sugar in the buns. You can do much the same thing at home, a slightly sweeter bun. And today I'm using the brioche gourmet, which I get from, I think I got this one from Woolies. So these buns come already pre-cut, which is really handy. Now it says toast the buns. I have a toaster that takes this size, so I'm just going to do it in my toaster. Anyway, before I get to that, got my gloves on and I'm mixing the chicken mince, egg, breadcrumbs, onion, etc, etc. Please feel free to add any herbs if you've got any herbs in your garden. I personally don't, but I'm doing a unit of work with the junior students on herbs and agriculture, so I tend to have a lot of herbs in the fridge. I haven't put any in here today, but anyway, so I'm dividing up, once it's all thoroughly mixed around, dividing up my mixture into probably 5 or 6 patties. Now this mixture is quite wet, so try and get them all the same size. And I'm hoping they're all going to go into my pan at once. Now chicken does cook a lot quicker than meat, but the thing you've got to watch with the chicken is that you don't overcook it. Overcooked chicken, as you know, causes food poisoning. So they're roughly much the same size. I'm just going to put them all back in the bowl, ready to take over here and to start cooking. Notice that I've got my cooking station and my mise en place all done before I start cooking. Now what you want to do once you've got your chicken burger cooked is you want to be able to put it straight onto a piece of absorbent paper on. Also, just making sure that this is all ready. I haven't actually switched on the stove yet, but it won't take long for that to heat. Just a few minutes to heat through. while it's doing that, I'm cleaning up my workbench. And if you've got a toaster, you can start toasting your buns just before you serve them, because this is something that you want to get most of the things all ready before you start putting it all together. That way it is served fresh. So hopefully that's getting going now. I have sprayed it with some spray oil. It is a non-stick pan. However, you can put a little bit of maybe chili oil in there to enhance the flavour as well. Again, remember, it's food product development, so it's whatever you want it to be. It can be whatever you want it to be, and because we're in lockdown, of course, it can be just what you've got in the fridge at this point in time. And for those of you who haven't noticed, yes, I've dyed my hair blue because I felt like doing something crazy, being locked in. I'm going stir crazy, so I dyed my hair blue. Now I've put a hat on it. Okay, just put one in and it's just starting to sizzle, which means my oil is ready. And I'm not going to get all those in my pan, so I'll do it in terms of 3 and 3. You'll notice that the ball that I made, I'm now pushing it down to form a hamburger-like patty as I put it into the pan. I'm just going to turn that down a bit and let that cook quite slowly, or a bit slower, while I toast the buns. I do have a double-sided toaster, so make sure that both sides are on the same toasting number, because they toast evenly. And because I'm doing 2, I should actually have 2 plates out, but I might just show you what they look like on one plate. Also, it says shred lettuce. I'm just going to use some of this baby leaf blend that I had. Saved me going out and buying the lettuce. I thought I'll use this. And I don't have large tomatoes, or half a small tomato, which is what it's asking for, but I've got these small ones, and I find that we can just cut them lengthwise. Give them just a little bit of interest. And cheese is another ingredient that it's asked for. Again, it says sliced cheese. I don't have sliced cheese at home. I've got strong and bitey, and probably about 1 millimetre. Oh, trouble getting that off the knife. Doesn't matter if it breaks up, you're going to want to hope that that will melt once you put it onto the chicken burger. Come off, come off. Here we go. Right, leave that out just in case. And check on my burgers. You can press them down. Now this is where it says in the recipe that you're supposed to be cooking them in a teaspoon of oil. Oh, these look really nice, even though I don't eat them. I'm vegetarian, as you know. They look like they're coming along really nicely. Hopefully my buns are... Oops. Oh, just a bit overdone, my buns, but never mind. They cook a bit quicker, the buns, than the brioche buns, rather. So that's a base, that's a base. Put those on there. On the bases, it says to put some mayonnaise, and I bought this wasabi style meal just to give, again, a bit of a kick. As you know, I like to use a little bit of chilli or anything with a kick in my cooking. There you go. I'm just going to stop filming just now. I'll come back in a sec. Okay, on the base of the patty, I've put my wasabi meal that you saw. On the top, I've put the sweet chili sauce. I've put the lettuce. I've cut the tomato. And the burgers are now finished cooking. As you can see, these two burgers are... There won't be much oil that comes off if you use a non-stick pan and the spray like I did. However, if you use the oil, as the recipe suggests, and you can do that, then there will be some oil to come off the actual burgers themselves. So there you go, the last recipe for this term, sweet chili chicken burgers. I hope you enjoy them.